Oh, there we go. Right on time. Right on time. Let me get the Instagram up and popping. Fellas, this is LA Josh Preston. Hold on. What is his Instagram? There we go. Instagram is now up and good. Hello, hello, hello. It's your boy, the Beast One. Welcome to Dad Mentality Podcast. We got a great show for y'all tonight. Got all my fellas together plus one. We got our special guest, LA Josh Preston. Y'all know him from the podcast. But we gonna talk a little bit about change, catch up with the fellas, see how everything has gone this week, and talk about things that's going on. Y'all know what it is, Dad Mentality.
What is Dad's mentality? What it is? The mentality of taking care of family. As a man, I get lonely. I can't even call my homies, but I answer every call when my kids call me. I be there when they need me. They depending on me. They looking up to me. Sometimes we gotta fix our mental. Or maybe it's not meant to be a dad, a father, that's what men do. I made a promise to my kids, that's what I do. I just want them to do things better than I do. Or better yet, better things that I did. What is Dad's mentality? What it is? The mentality of taking care of family. As a man, I get lonely. I can't even call my homies, but I answer every call when my kids call me. I be there when they need me. They depending on me. They looking up to me. Welcome to the show, shout out to the coach. And Matty Ice, Ice Cold Crypto. And each one, teach one. That's mentality, we just try to reach one. What is that's mentality?
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Dad's Mentality. I'd like to thank y'all for coming to our special Sunday episode. We are going to broadcast this again on Monday, but today is Sunday night. I had some events going on tomorrow that it's going to make me unavailable, so I wanted to go ahead and go live today and have some fun, talk to my fellas, see what's going on. Because it's Sunday, we are also graced by the one and only LA Josh Preston, which I'll get into his intro first, but I got to introduce my fellas. We missed them last week deeply. You know what I'm saying? We had Molly showed up as an Eagles fan, was looking for you, coach. So he wanted me to give you that special shout out and say what's up because he was looking for you, brother. But, y'all know him since I was 4 years old, and we've been playing in the sand. When we was playing in the sandbox, he's my man, $1 million grand. Vance, a.k.a. Coach. What's going on, Coach?
What's good with you? How y'all doing today, fellas?
Awesome, bro. Good to see you.
Doing great. And, he's been with us pretty much. We might as well say he's been here since day one, but, he joined us and had a great time. Now we in the second half of season 3, having a good time. Y'all know him as the diversified hustler, the ice cream man. Y'all know him as Wealthy is Blessed. Also, the father of Art by Guacamo and the Knox and Guap Chases. Man, Matty Ice Cold Crypto. What's going on, Matty Ice?
Hey, man, beautiful day, beautiful, great Sunday, man. Happy to be here.
Man, I'm happy to have you here, too. Hey, fellas, so we got somebody special in this week. I've been trying to get this dude in for at least a season, but he always busy on Monday. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna give him his flowers because normally I always don't give him his flowers, but I'm gonna give him his flowers. He's easily one of the funniest guys that I know personally. Even in the comments of other podcasts that I've been on, his comments are always on time, always talking about topics that are great. I've joined him on his podcast, which is a podcast of comedians and great things that happen on Thursday nights at 7 or 6:30.
7
on Thursday nights. You can definitely check him out if you want to have a good time, laugh, have some funny stuff. I know he is happily married. I don't know. You got kids there, LA?
Got 2.
Got 2 kids. He's a father. He's a comedian. He's a host. He's a all-around good guy, and I'll never say this again, but on his podcast, but he's an all-around good guy. But I'm telling you, this man is funny. If you're in the Roanoke area, please let them know where they can find you. LA Josh Preston, where can they find you?
Hiya, hiya, hiya. Yeah, my name is LA Josh Preston. I'm a comedian out of Roanoke, Virginia. And as like B said, I have the podcast, which I do every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we just talk about different topics. Mostly is like news, whatever happened during the week and stuff. And yes, I have two kids. And one of my kids, my son, last night got his first professional wrestling event. And yes, the wrestling, the WWE type wrestling. Yes, he does that. I used to do that. I used to do that back in '99. I did it for about 5 years, and now my son is doing it, and he got his first match, and so I taped that.
That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, so
okay.
Good stuff.
So that's great. So where can they find you? They want to follow you and check you out, Josh?
Yeah, on Facebook it's LA Preston or LA Josh Preston. I would spell right there. Also, the Real Funny, TheRealFunny. That is my Real Funny business comedy where I do comedy shows. I do one comedy show here every third Saturday at the Coffee Pot, and then I also do an open mic every last Tuesday of the month at the Spot on Kirk. And I also on Instagram is LA Josh Preston, TikTok is LA Josh Preston, YouTube LA Josh Preston as well.
Okay. I'm just trying to go ahead and make sure I get this privacy on so people comments. We already got KJ in the comments. What's going on, KJ? But let's get ready and do our mental health check-in for this week. So what we do, LA Josh Preston, is every week we do a mental health check-in where we rate our week from 0 to 10. We talk about things that are coming up this week that we're excited about and things that even might happen last week that we made it through, and we rate how our mental health is feeling this week. Because mental health here on Dad Mentality, mental health is important. We feel that us as a culture and Black men, we don't talk about mental health enough, and to get people aware and just, if you're not, please, if you're in the comments or see some people watching, make sure y'all put y'all rating from 0 to 10 in the comments. We'll definitely talk about that. And, tell us how, we've been and how you've been and things you're looking forward to. So I'm going to go ahead and get it started this week. I'm going to say my mental health this week, I'm about an 8. I didn't talk about much last week, but I have started a new job recently. And that stuff, I've been there about 45 days, I think now. And things have really started turning around. Real happy about that. This week I get to go and do a food show. What's funny is the food shows with my old job. So I'm going to go visit them now as a customer opposed to working there. So I'm excited about that. Take the wife and make it basically a date night. So, we're going to have a good time. We're going to be at Maryland Live, hitting the casino, and, have some time out without the kids and everything. They're on spring break, so we're going to send the youngest to grandma and grandpa. So, I'm about an 8 today. I'm looking to feel like a 10 tomorrow. So, I'm excited about that. Me and the wife haven't been out in a while because we've been grinding. I've been grinding at work. So I'm definitely excited about that. Anything else I'm looking forward to? My son's been playing flag football. This is first year. I'm excited about how good he's been doing and just getting, I got to work with him a little bit to get him right where, he got to represent the football mentality we have here in this Glover household. It ain't like coach where you switch every week. We got a foundation that stays implanted here. You know what I'm saying? I got to make sure he understands that. So, and other than that, everything been good. So I say I'm about a good 8, man. I'm a good 8. How you been, Matty Ice?
Oh man, I've been good, man. This was another good week, man. Last week I was about a 9. I say I'm still at about a 9, man. Great things going on, man. Just keeping the momentum going with new projects that I got going on, new opportunity that's opening up, new partnerships, man, new things that I'm doing. That I'll kind of speak on later, but I'm at a 9, man. Family doing good, man. We woke up this morning, got out the house, man, went to church with the fam. That's kind of something new that I'm doing. Got it with my mom last night, man. Went to an event with her last night that she was happy to see me at, man, that I haven't been to in years. Saw some old friends and different things like that, man. So just been feeling real good about, man, everything that's going on, man. I'm into my spring and summer season with the ice cream business, man. So some of that's been a little stressful, just getting all of my paperwork back, time to renew different things with the ice cream truck and all of that stuff. So just paying having to pay those renewal fees and stuff like that. So just taking care of all that paperwork, but everything been moving forward. So I'm happy and blessed about it that I've been able to take care of it. Like again, I'm at about a 9, man. Feeling good about a lot of things. Getting my health back in order, man. I'm down about 20 pounds, man, since the last time that we been on. I'm not sure if y'all can see it, man. Old boy getting his swag back. You know what I'm saying? Coach always, man. Come on, Coach.
Don't see it. I don't see it either. It's all good.
He look the same as he looked before the Super
Nah,
Bowl.
man. Let's go back and look at the tape. And I gave you love, Roddy. So don't do that to me, man. I gave you love, man. But you know what I mean. I am though. I don't need these guys. You know what I mean. To pat on the back, but I'm feeling good, man. You know what I mean. So yeah, life is good right now, man. Blessed.
Excellent. What about you, Coach? Where you at? We missed you last week.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Life has been busy. I'm probably at about an 8 now. You know what I mean? Since we broke last time, a lot has changed. You know what I'm saying? Especially with my job. So working in the federal government, life is a little different right now, right? So, but you know what I'm saying? We'll get into some of that later. I think, you know what I'm saying? But right now I'm riding pretty high, busy, very, very busy. You know what I'm saying? Personal life. Wife has a lot of stuff going on right now, closing out a lot of big projects. But as y'all know, you know what I'm saying, the month of April and May are mean. Matty Ice knows that. It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, pretty busy season. Plus, you know what I'm saying, got daughter started track, you know what I mean? Another daughter starting gymnastics soon. One's graduating next month. Gotta move the boy home. So, you know what I mean? Good thing about the boy coming home, though, I ain't got to worry about dinner no more. You know what I mean? At all. You know what I mean? So that's excellent. You know what I mean? So, life is good. You know what I mean? Life is good. So I think I'm hovering around an 8 right now. Pretty sure I'll be at a 9 or 10 over the next couple of weeks, though. You know what I mean? Things are falling into place. So
yeah. Y'all gonna be real good, man. Got the chef coming home. That's
no doubt.
5-star meal.
No doubt, bro.
Let me know. I'll be over there. You know what I'm saying? I'll be over there holler at him.
Break, bro. That joint was a blessing in disguise, bro.
Oh yeah.
This man made a homemade. He made a homemade basil chicken pasta. And he made the pasta from scratch.
Oh yeah,
straight flour. You know, man. I was like, oh yeah. And then he made crab cakes the day before he left. I was like, bro, what's going on?
Oh yeah. I'm glad you just told me where you lived at.
Yeah, we have a dad mentality cookout over there. Just be volunteer. He ain't even gonna know. We just gonna show up.
Yeah,
but it's all good. LA Josh Preston, let us know from 0 to 10 how you feeling and any, what you got going on that you're excited about.
Yeah, well, tonight, as of right now, I am about an 8. This weekend, though, I was at a 5 or a 6 because, as I said before, man, my son doing his first wrestling gig, and you know how wrestling is. It's always that chance you may get hurt and all that stuff. So I had to calm myself down, I have to calm my wife as well, because she remembered when I used to wrestle and stuff, and I came in a little hurt and stuff. That's it. No. And but I kept going. So once I got her all calmed down, he went out there, did his thing. It was a great show. Matter of fact, I put it on my YouTube channel. It was good. So he's doing well. So I'm back up to the 8. And plus my daughter, what got my wife mind away from it is that my daughter, she was doing a play of the Moana play. So she was doing that from Thursday through Saturday. So that got her off the mind of my son wrestling. So that helped out a little bit. But the thing is now that I'm back in wrestling, the people that are training my son wrestled with me back in the day. So every time I come in, it's like, you want to come in and do a little spot, or you want to do this? I'm like, nah, I gained a few pounds up in there. That's why I might need some of that Matty Ice weight loss thing that he's doing.
Hey.
So lose about 20 pounds, and then but him doing that is gonna make me feel better. Gonna make me feel like, okay, I need to get in the gym too, and hopefully he'll help me get into the gym, and I can get in better shape and stuff like that. So who knows? One time this summer, I might go in there and help him out with the wrestling stuff.
Yeah. I ain't in the gym yet, man. I'm just been back walking and cutting the carbs out. You
Just
know
walking
what I mean?
okay.
Yeah, that's why.
But you go to his house. He got ice cream every damn way.
Right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Don't let him get you twisted. This is about to be ice cream season. Watch,
Exactly.
you gonna gain that joint right back.
Now, that's the scale, man. I try not to get high off my own supply, man. I taste a spoonful just to make sure it's right, but yeah, I'm not sitting in here eating bowls of ice cream. Trust me, you know what I mean. I make sure it's right though. You know what I mean?
So I do got some questions about the wrestling because that's something I don't know nothing about. Is new to me. So I'm just curious. So I guess in Roanoke, is there like a big wrestling like underground, or how is that whole thing done there?
Yeah, around here in Roanoke, because it's an independent wrestling. It's called Pure Pro Wrestling. And here around Roanoke, there's a lot of small cities, country cities, and these them country boys, they love them some wrestling, as they call it. They love wrestling.
Hey, that's Molly. That ain't Molly. He be saying wrestling.
Yeah, Molly be off that wrestling. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a big thing down here.
They got a channel for that because on my Fire Stick, when I go to like live sports, it's Triller and something else. They be showing some different wrestling matches I've never seen. Like it looked like it's real underground,
Right. Yeah, we have them in gyms and rec centers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fairs and festivals and stuff. Yeah. But
how much practice goes in before you actually get into a match?
My son has been doing it for 2 years before he actually got into a match, because I wanted to, take your time. I mean, there's no hurry. I mean, he's 22 years old. There's no hurry into being into an independent wrestling. Know how to take them bumps. Know all that stuff before you get into the actual ring. Because you too. I know how people sit here and they say how wrestling's fake, or it's a soap opera and everything. But those headshot, those chair shots and stuff like that, those bumps that we got to take, those are real.
Okay.
You got to have a strong back and everything. They might punch fake, kick fake, but everything else is real.
Hey, yeah, nah. It looked like it can be brutal. Was it like, so when I was thinking about it, did he do any type of sports or like high school type wrestling, or was it more so just straight into this type of WWE style, WWF style wrestling?
Yeah, he just loves the wrestling aspect, and I get it. And I did it, so I can't be sitting here saying, "Nah, don't do this." And but he's seen me do it. He's seen my wrestling tapes, and I told him, I give him the tools to make it work, and he's going out there doing it. So that's what I'm glad. I'm glad he's not listening to me. He knows I've done it, so he respects for what I say. So everything so far has been going great. But like I said, it took 2 years for him to start wrestling because I wanted to make sure he was ready for it.
What was your wrestling name? You had a name, man. You wore you wore a mask and all that shit.
I didn't do all that. No, you gotta see this face.
You ain't had no cape on or nothing.
Josh Mysterio. You know what
I mean? Actually, my name was L.A. Cash. I was part of a tag team called the Southside Players. It was me, L.A. Cash, and my friend Jay Money.
Okay.
And we were in the Carolina Wrestling Federation, that's why we were able to wrestle people like the Hardy Boys and Rock and Roll Express. We wrestled all those tag teams, and we still hold the reign for the most tag team championships in that federation. So I always brag about, at least, because when people, how people are, like I am, like, show proof. You're a wrestler? Yeah, show proof. I didn't think you're a wrestler. I always show, there you are right there. Because back in the day when I wrestled, we didn't have YouTube and all this camera phones and
what
stuff. So
That might be a good thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I still got the VHS tapes though, so I can just plug it in and show them. So
Somebody might have put it out there. I'm about to search for it. What was it again? LA Cash. I'm about to find.
Right.
I'm gonna find it. You know, I'll pull it up in a second.
He had green jumpsuits like the Riddler. Dollar signs on.
He going to ring and twerk and they throw money.
Oh,
at him. That's what
See, I ain't do that to you.
That was your finishing move.
No, our finishing move was called a 3P. It was like the 3D, but instead of a diamond cutter, we did the bulldog. It was a player's fat finish. We spelled everything with a P. So players and then fat, PHAT, and finish was PHINISH. So
okay. Guap 30 wants to know where he can go to watch this.
Well, my son, you can just go to my YouTube page. It's LA Josh Preston. I just put it up there. And like I said, I got my VHS tapes. So if there's a way to turn a VHS tape into a computer, to put on a computer, I might.
No, it is. You can burn that.
And you might find.
It is.
And you might find it already on there because you'd be surprised. People throw that stuff out there all the time.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? It was good, Aquarius.
Good evening, Aquarius.
Just happy she came through. But yeah, so that's definitely good, man. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna look for it if I can find it. I would love to find that tag team joint because I play it on my Facebook every day. But anyway, but no,
but if I do figure out how to put it on the computer, I'll send you it.
All right, cool beans, man.
All right.
But let's get ready to get into something. This season, as we get into the show, we're talking a lot about change. And I did want to ask y'all some quick questions. I got a video I want to talk about, but I did want to ask y'all some quick questions. It was just something that we talked about last week on there. And when it comes to change, why do you feel that people are afraid of change? Like, because whenever you want to change something in your life, usually somebody doesn't want to do it until they hit rock bottom or this thing, there's always got to be some circumstance or something like that to make them change, to make people want to change or go commit to a change but then a lot of people things are not working out and they're still doing the same thing. I'll start with Coach real quick. Why do you feel people are afraid of change?
I think that when it comes to change, sometimes people think that they won't be able to handle the change. And sometimes I think people create their own fear of change, right? When we're kids, right, we aren't scared of anything. So the world revolves. We adapt to every single change as a kid, no matter what. It is what it is because we know no difference. We have nothing to lose as a kid and stuff like that. As we get older, our own fears are what hinder change, right? We become comfortable. We can become satisfied, and we don't continue to learn. We don't continue to go after what we want. And when the norm is challenged, all of a sudden it's like, oh man, I got to figure something out. What if I can't figure it out? And our own self-doubt is what stops us from going towards that actual change and being scared of it. It's amazing when you are forced to change how quick you revert back to being able to adapt to it, right? We as a people have an easier time than most cultures when it comes to change because we've been fighting against things on a consistent basis all our life, right? But
fight all my life.
Yeah, I mean, and truth be told, we've had to adapt to various circumstances, outside circumstances, not necessarily internal, but outside circumstances against our culture. But most people are scared of change because of a false fear, to be honest with you.
All right. LA, what you think?
With the change, it all depends on what the change is. Now, some people don't want to change because that's going to have to admit that you're wrong. because you be doing things and stuff, and then someone says you need to change this. Then if you actually do it, then you're gonna have to admit, okay, what I did do was incorrect. Now I got to change it up and let me do it this way. Because us as human beings, we hate being wrong. Even when we know we're wrong, we got to sit there and make some excuse on why we were wrong. You know, we weren't getting the information right or something.
Most people, have that issue.
Yeah, and also the unknown, because you don't know if you do that change, you don't know what's going to happen. If you don't change, you know exactly. You know, some people just have that routine he was talking about, and people just don't want to change their routine. They're happy. Especially when you're my age and when you're getting older, you know, you're used to doing this. It's like, hey, I lived this long with me just doing this. Me changing ain't gonna help me out or do anything when actually it can. So the unknown, and also the admitting that you have to admit that you're wrong, that you're doing it incorrectly, and you got to change up and do it right. That's also.
No, you fact. I mean, the biggest thing last week we talked a little bit about it. We talked about the unknown. That was a huge thing that I think people are afraid of. We got Aquarius here. She said a lot is to avoid accountability and then the fear of the unknown. Yep, that's exactly what you just said, LA. And I mean, it definitely gets to me, and like we said last week, to me, change is something that you need to do. Like, we all can't keep on doing the same thing, and I feel that there's a change in your lifetime no matter what. Like I tell my wife, every 10 years we change, and we need to relearn each other. And we have to take that time to spend and relearn what it takes to, because I mean, let's get something straight. The same thing that made you happy at 20 ain't going to be the same thing that make you happy at 40. You know what I'm saying? That change that becomes in yourself, like, you don't change, you adapt. I remember when I could just buy my wife an ice cream Snickers and she'd be happy. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, I bring her ice cream Snickers, she gonna talk about what I'm trying to do, make her gain weight. You know what I'm saying? So you know,
I bring her Matty Ice and she won't complain.
That's true. I got you on that. But you know, I didn't want to bring this. So I got this video I want to show. It gives another perspective on change and things like that. And then we can discuss it after that. And if y'all in the comments, please share how you feel in the comments, and we'll definitely address it. Let me get to the right video here. I'm gonna go ahead and share it. I've been rusty, y'all. I haven't been doing this in a while. So, you know, here we go.
I'm past awards in my mindset. You know, there's a thing. I think that everybody, I wish that everybody could have everything they dream. Right. To realize that that's not it. Right. You know, I've said before, like, people talk about rock bottom, that when you hit rock bottom is when you'll make a change. Yeah, like people say in rock bottom in life. Yeah, rock bottom in life. Right. Yeah, but yeah, it is like people say it in AA, talking about rock bottom. Mm-hmm. But there's a corresponding place that I call cliff top. Right? Like, you could be too high, where you get so high that you realize literally none of the stuff can make you happy. Right. After you get to the end of the material world, you get to the end of money, you get to the end of, you get to the end of fame, you have so much, and then you like go off of a cliff into the same kind of abyss that you'd be scared of slipping into at rock bottom. Right. Where life loses all of its ability to sustain and please you. Right. And then the only thing that's left, the same thing at rock bottom, the only thing that's left at cliff top is you have to find what you're actually looking for, and what you're actually looking for is you.
All right, fellas. So as y'all know, that is Will Smith. I did swear him off, I think 2 seasons ago, that I never follow him again. I ain't gonna lie though, he has been working himself back. I'm just gonna say that to get him back, you know, because of everybody know the controversy that had been happening between him and Chris Rock, and I swear it wouldn't, but you know, he's working himself back. I've been watching the circuit and watching how he discusses things. I also listened to his new album, if you ain't heard that. But you know, he definitely addresses a lot of change and things like that. So, you know, I just wanted to see how y'all feel, because everybody does talk about rock bottom. What do you think about that cliff top? Coach, how do you feel? What did you think about what he said?
Oh man, I think I agree. I think they're one and the same, right? I think that the reason I think they're one and the same is because if you are fulfilling your purpose that God gave you, nothing's going to satisfy until you realize what God put you on this earth for. And the only way to do that is to seek him, right? And you got to be living in your purpose to get satisfied. And there's no material, there's no wife, there's nothing on this earth that can satisfy you or fulfill you, except whatever God's purpose was for you. And until you kind of walk in your purpose and figure out what your purpose is, the money, the material stuff, all that stuff, it's not going to satisfy you. Because, you know what I'm saying, you could have it all or you could not have it, right? And you still end up in the same place. You know what I mean? If you aren't walking in your purpose, right? Once you walk in your purpose, then none of the rest of that stuff matters. The material stuff doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And everything that you're yearning for doesn't matter once you walk in your purpose. People that walk in their purpose don't think about money.
Right.
People, you know what I'm saying? People that walk in their purpose find love, right? In whatever they're walking in their purpose. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that, you know what I'm saying, you can get to the top and still yearn for more and everything. And you can actually see it from people. I mean, you see that billionaires want more money. For what?
Yeah, or
you understand what I mean?
Yeah, or they have all the money, they still not happy.
And they still not happy. Right?
Yeah.
You can have everything you want, still not be happy, but it's funny because you can see people that have nothing and be the happiest people.
Joyful as hell.
Fact.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? And so, and if you're walking in your purpose, I think that's where your fulfillment comes from.
Okay. LA, how you feel? What you think about that? The video.
I'll be honest. People who's at the top can't tell me anything about how hard stuff is, and you don't want to be at the top. If that's the case, then why don't you just take all your riches and stuff and just give it away then? If that's how you feel about being at the top, or you don't want to be up there, let me be my judge.
Yeah, right? Let me experience it, huh?
Let me go up there and let me see. I can't stand. I'm sorry. I can't stand people who've been at the top trying to tell me how hard it is being at the top. Well, let's switch places then, okay? I'll even take Jada. You know, I'll even take her then.
I'm good.
Switch place. I'm just saying, if I have to be at the top, it's just like when they're poor and when they say, when I get all this money, I'm gonna help the rich and stuff. But like, yeah, right, you are. You want to get rich so you can go to all these places. You don't want to get rich so you can help the poor. You want to get rich because you want to go to these different countries. You want to buy all that stuff that the other people are buying and things of that nature. So I understand it, but to me, if when you're like our ages and stuff, I think our ages is the time where we can actually like generate wealth and get money, and we can take that money and help the poor because we know how it is. People like Will Smith, that dude's been rich from a teenager. He don't understand any type of struggle. Yeah, maybe when he was young and stuff, growing up poor, but this dude's been having money for like 35, 40 years, and now he's gonna sit here and tell somebody like us, hey, the top ain't what it. You don't want to be at the top because you'll fall real hard and stuff. Well, you might have because of the choices you made. You know, give me all that money, I'll show you and stuff. And I don't know. I just don't listen to rich people like him talk about how hard it is being at the top. Like, man, I don't want to hear that. Let me people like I listen to you. I would listen to all of you more than I'll listen to somebody like Will Smith or Denzel or whoever's that rich like that. I don't want to hear y'all. I want to hear people like you three. I don't care about what Will Smith is saying. Just my thing.
Yeah.
I got you, Matt.
I hear where you coming from with that, LA. And I agree, you know what I mean, but I look at different perspectives, you know what I mean, because you know what I mean, he's coming from, I guess, his perspective, you know what I mean, and that's all we can kind of, you know, shoot from is sometimes the viewpoint and the life that we've lived. But I do agree, like, hey, let me get to that type of wealth that you've had and let me, you know, decide for myself. But I think kind of what he was saying is like, after you achieve all of this success, at the end of the day, it's not the money that's going to make you happy. You know what I mean? We see, and until you have it, you can say it, because I have different levels of success. And then even with money, you know what I mean, you feel better. I'd rather be unhappy rich than unhappy broke. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So I get what you're saying. So it's like, but if from Will Smith's perspective, I kind of get where he's coming from. You know what I mean? He's like, man, like the money and fame isn't going to make you who you truly are. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But you got to experience it to know it. So I would love to have that experience. You know what I mean? So I get it from that side. But that's what he's saying. You know what I mean? It's not all the stuff that you obtain. A lot of people say is who you become along that journey. You know what I'm saying? Of attaining is who you become as you're growing and expanding. You know what I'm saying? So they say if you was already a giving person, when you get rich, you're gonna be more of a giving person. If you was already an asshole, the more money you get, you're gonna be more of an asshole. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's all about perspective, and it's all about the experiences that you go through. But back to like just hitting rock bottom or rock top, you know what I mean, from what he was saying, I kind of agree, you know what I mean, but it's everybody's journey and perspective going to be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Because it depends on where you came from, where you started from, and what rock bottom may look like to you, and what the top may look like to you. You know what I mean? And that's going to be different for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like you said, like his perspective is different because he's seen a level of fame and success early on. You know what I mean? That most people probably will never achieve in their lifetime. So it's like, you know what I mean? I get it. Like, who are you to say? You know what I mean? But that's the only life that he knows, or he only could give it from that viewpoint.
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, it's not the money or it's not the fame that got Will Smith in trouble like that. It was being married to Jada Pinkett Smith. And I am tired of him. I'm tired of people like that trying to say it's the money that changed me. No, maybe it's marriage that changed you. Maybe marrying Jada Pinkett Smith got you to where you are. So how come you ain't talking about, hey, don't get married? Because if you marry somebody like this, you know, then it might not work.
It's a mix of it, though. If he never had the money, would he ever marry Jada?
Right.
If he was still just the same dude from Philly, he wouldn't have never met her. So it's all a mix. You know what I'm saying? That goes into it. You know what I mean?
That wasn't money. Okay, so say if he wasn't married to Jada Pinkett Smith, that Chris Rock thing wouldn't have happened. Don't care how much money he had. If he wasn't with Jada Pinkett Smith, that would have never happened.
Yeah, but
I agree. But that goes back to, if y'all didn't watch last week's episode, man, we kind of went into this talking about this, but then we also talked about choice. He still had a choice. He ain't have to go up there and smack that man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all about choice. He still had decisions to be made throughout his journey. You know what I mean? Regardless of the money, regardless of this, he made choices along the way. And then sometimes you look back on the choices along the way after you experience them and you learn from them and you got different perspective. You know what I mean? That was just all part of his journey. You know what I mean? For the life he was living. And we can't really say because we ain't never lived in that man's shoes. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that. If he didn't smack Chris Rock, I think he would have been fine. But the reason why he smacked Chris Rock is because he's married to Jada Pinkett Smith.
So it was her fault that he smacked her?
Well, Whose fault is it? I mean, he did it. So of course it's his fault.
It ain't her fault. He still did it.
But he is trying to make it seem like this money and fame make you do stuff like that. It's not money and fame. Who else has smacked Chris Rock or smacked somebody else because of money and fame?
Kanye West.
Smack who?
I'm just saying, I get what
Kanye West has done stupid stuff, money and fame. He not, in my opinion, Kanye West. There's been other superstars. Like there's been superstars who've made it all the way to the top.
And they crash and burn
fell off a cliff. You know what I'm saying? Britney Spears at one point in time was the biggest pop success of all times, and next thing you know, she's shaving her hair and running out in the streets, marrying backup dancers and doing all kinds of craziness.
That's because money is a tool, fame is a tool, and depending on how you use it, it could get the best of you. A lot of people had that money and they used it in a certain type of way. It got the best of them, and they crashed and burned. But they chose.
But fellas, it's all going back to exactly what Will Smith said: lack of satisfaction, personal satisfaction. That's why everybody does it, right? So because they're not satisfied internally with who they are, and it's the same thing as rock bottom for people that hit rock bottom with or without money. If you are satisfied with who you are, that in and of itself will destroy you.
No matter if you're not satisfied with who you are, you're going to find a vice. You're going to find something. That vice can be money. If we talk about alcohol, drugs, this, that, and the other, that vice can be money just as much, and fame. Exactly. Some people feel like they search for it, so they keep on searching, but they're never happy. So they try to get more money, more fame, more power, and then they're still not happy because you're not happy with yourself. And yourself is that whole thing. You know why Will Smith went up there and slapped Chris Rock? Because he wasn't happy with himself. It had, it does. Now, don't get me wrong. There's other factors. There could be factors like your significant other, your wife, your kids. It can be a bunch of stuff. But you still have that moment where there was a moment where Will Smith made the decision to go up there and slap him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't sit there and wait, and it wasn't like she wrote him a letter and was like, you better go slap that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like and the sad thing about it is we do that all the time. We do that all the time when we make decisions either split second or we even make it subconsciously before. How many times have you said, man, if somebody do that again, I'm gonna mess them up. I'm gonna go punch them in their face. I'm gonna do that. If somebody does this again. If somebody speaks like this to me again at work, I'm gonna curse them out. I'm gonna tell them to go. How many times have you made that pre-decision? You know what I'm saying? If somebody's late to the comedy show, I'm not gonna let them on stage. How many times have you done that, LA? I know you've done that. So I'm just saying, we make these decisions even sometimes premature, beforehand, or you make them split second. Like right then, we all still, either way, you still as a person have that moment and you have made that choice. You have made that decision.
All right. Well, if you look at the tape, Will Smith laughed at that joke. Jada Smith gave him that look. He went up there and he smacked him.
I get that, but she still didn't make him do it though.
He get that look.
I get that, but the look, he still had to go. He still had to physically get up, go on stage. Unless she got mind control over Debo. She was like, yeah. Hey, you could call it that, but at the same time, he still physically did it, man. You know what I mean? He made the choice. Maybe he thought like, dang, man, if I was Tupac, he wouldn't make this joke, man. She wished she'd married Tupac and he wouldn't even be talking this trash. And Tupac was sitting next to her, so I got to go smack this joke. I don't know what he thought in his head, but at the end of the day, he chose to go smack that man. He did not have to do that. He could have laughed it off and dealt with whatever she was going to do later. Like, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? If he, a man handling his household, he go tell her like, hey, chill out. You know what I mean? He handled his shit, but he chose so he chose. That's all I can say.
I mean, sometimes we all I don't even know why I'm gonna say in his defense. I really don't want to be in his defense at all, to be honest with you. But in his defense, we've all made decisions off of the emotions that we think somebody else has felt. You know what I'm saying?
It's still a decision. That's all, and that's what we went. That's what we was going back and forth with it last week. It's still, you still had a choice. That's what I'm saying. His choice was not taken away from him. He still had a choice. He didn't have to do it unless he was literally under hypnosis. You know what I'm saying, or something like that. He had a choice. You know what I'm saying, to whether or not he was going to walk on the stage to do it.
Okay. I get it.
I mean, I get you. I mean, I'll tell you, I get you. But there's sometimes when I do something, my wife takes a look at me, it's like, oh, I shouldn't be doing that, or nah, or I won't do this when I think of my wife and stuff. And like before, Chris Rock already was telling jokes about Jada Smith and everything, and I'm sure there was that conversation. If Chris Rock say anything about me, you better handle your damn business.
But I get that. But so you saying there's certain times and some things when you react, but there's other times when you choose not to listen. So you know what I'm saying. So you can't say it both ways. You know what I'm saying. You choose to listen sometimes, the other times you don't. So which one? You know what I mean. You have a choice. You know what I mean.
I get completely, but you know, at the end of the day, if Jada Pinkett Smith wasn't there, it wouldn't have been any slapping. I really do believe that.
No, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
So we saying that this whole conversation derived from that.
What do you mean?
From the incident? Like we saying what Will just said in his video.
Nah,
there's a correlation to the Chris Rock and what he's saying, because
I think there's a correlation. Yes, I think it is, because now he's trying to, now in my opinion, this is all my opinion. Now, okay, he made a mistake, and now he's trying to redeem himself. But he's redeeming. But in my opinion, he's still doing it the right way. And one, he's coming out there and he's being honest about how he was. He's saying that I was hurt, I was broken. You know what I'm saying? I made decisions. I did things. He's never stepped away from that. You know what I'm saying? At least in the interviews that I've watched. Yeah, he's never stepped away from that. But he also said that's where he was. Because you got to understand, that night was his night.
That situation could have been a wake-up call. So now he's speaking on it. You know what I mean? That night could have been that wake-up call. Like, right. Wow.
But I think the thing about it though is that he was already at rock bottom before that night.
But he might not.
That night was the cliff. That night was the cliff. He was in the highest point. He finally was getting that Oscar that he had been chasing. You got what I'm saying? He was finally getting that for what he had been chasing. And that night was his night. And that night was the night that he fell off that cliff. Because after that, he realized
that that Oscar wasn't going to satisfy him neither.
Exactly.
My question is, if he never slapped Chris Rock, if he just let that slide and didn't do anything, will he be having these interviews and conversations now? Exactly.
He would not.
So yes, it does. That slap does have something to do with him.
Yeah, that's what. I agree with you. I'm saying yes. I'm saying 100% it does. Because he would not, because when he fell off that pedestal, when that slap did, it took him off that tower. He was on the tower. He was there where he was, he felt like, in my opinion, that he could do no wrong and that this world was going to love him no matter what. You know what I'm saying? He was at the top of his game. He was winning an Oscar for one of the greatest, in my opinion, like documentary sports movies of all time. King Richard is an amazing film. And he was getting his Oscar.
What film
was that dude? King Richard. The Venus and Serena story. Yeah. And if you haven't seen it, it is great. It is really good. You know what I'm saying? And he deserved the Oscar, and he was at his highest point right there, and he fell off. He fell off in my eyes. I swore I would never watch another movie by him again. You know what I'm saying? And this is his redemption. He's trying to redeem himself. But I think he's doing it the best way that he possibly can. You know what I'm saying? Because he made a huge mistake for his career, fame, and everything. You know? And for himself, I'm assuming, because to me, and I did say this to my wife. I was like, either he's doing the best acting job he's ever done, in my opinion, now, trying to redeem himself and playing this character. But to me, it's been very, very honest. You know what I'm saying? Like if you listen to the album, the first song on the album, he just rips himself apart about where he was. He breaks himself down. He's talked about it in other interviews. I've watched quite a few interviews with him, and he's talked about how he felt like, he talks about that night, and he says that his father beat his mother, and he didn't protect his mother. Mm. So that night, he turned into that child that didn't protect his mother, and he felt like he had to protect Jada. And that's what he went up there and did what he did. Now he doesn't say, he says it, but he doesn't say it like, oh, that's my excuse, I'm a victim now. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't done it like that in my eyes. This is my point of view. And and I respect it. Now, do I still agree with it? Do I agree with anything that happened that night? No, I still think he made a huge mistake, and I believe that he deserves to be knocked off that pedestal that I felt like he was on. And I understand the criticism from you, Josh. I mean, I was the first one to criticize on this show the coach and Matty Ice and say I'm not watching this joint, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna go see I Am Legend too. When it come out with Michael B. Jordan, I ain't saying that, but I mean, to go back to the topic, which is, can you get up to such a success that you're still not happy and that you can fall off? The same thing as if you hit rock bottom. I feel like they both are just two ends of the same spectrum. You know what I'm saying? One person's hitting rock bottom, and rock bottom. The thing is, you don't have to be broke to hit rock bottom. No. Just like you don't have to be super rich like him to fall off that cliff. Nope. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people I've seen in my job, like even my job. And I don't even talk about me. I quit my job. Quit my job. My job was a good job. I was making great money, but I wasn't eternally happy. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't happy. And it didn't matter how much money or how many awards or how many vacations I went. It got to the point where I told my wife, I was like, I'd rather go back to cooking in a restaurant than to go to work again tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't hitting no kind of rock bottom, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't happy. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't eternally happy. And that kind of not having that eternal happiness is what, no matter what you do, you think you're going to find it in these things. And then when even success or drugs or hitting the bottom, you know what I'm saying? Or hitting the top, you're not going to find them. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with what Coach said, until you find out what God has you here for. But I do believe there's a certain age for that. You know what I'm saying? Because at 20, you're not really thinking about that. No, don't get me wrong. There are some people that are. But for me personally, at 20, I wasn't thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking the quicker I can get my house, the quicker I can get my this and get that, I'm going to be happy. But it took me, and now as I get older in age, I realize now I have the ability to quit my job and do something different just because I'm not happy. But I'm searching for that. I'm searching for what God has for me and that happiness there. Because, and like Coach said, once you start doing that, none of this other stuff starts mattering to you anymore. Money don't matter anymore. Fame don't matter anymore. I'm just enjoying life because it's short. You know what I'm saying? And just realizing that there's so much more out here in this world. My enjoyment is off of that and my kids now. So, I mean, and that's what I was saying. It's two ends of that same spectrum that I feel. So that's how I feel about that. And I feel that change is good. And even as up there in his level, change is still good, man. But I do believe that, and I do agree with you on some things, Josh Preston, because if you got all this money, you got all this, you feeling then who you helping? You know what I'm saying? Who you bringing up to your level? How you going to just, I think it was Drewski said it to Kevin Hart one day, what the dude was pitching him some kind of idea. He was like, oh, that's good. You should run with that. And Drewski was like, what do you mean he should run with it? You can fire that. I said, if you want to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could go and do whatever. You got the money to help and pull anybody up. So, I mean, you know, if you feel these things, you got to be able to reach back down and pull people up too. So, I mean, that's just how I feel and took out of that part of it as well, Josh. So,
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think about that, Josh? What do you think about what I said?
Oh, about pulling people up? Yeah, you got to have, there's no way you did this by yourself. You got to bring the people up that brought you to that top as well. Like with Kevin Hart, I've seen him bring, like, he got the Plastic Cup Boys and stuff.
Yeah.
I see other comedians bring other people up, and then there are just some comedians that they don't care about bringing other people up. So I mean, George Lopez is like one of the biggest ones here in comedy that he don't bring any other Hispanic people up. He think he should be number one. There should be no number 2 or 3 or anything like that. I mean, I think Steve Harvey is another one that, but like I said, but this is just comedy. I don't know too much about music, but it seems like the music people always bring themselves up. You know, you got 50 Cent with his G Unit, he has Snoop Dogg with his Dog Pound. It seems like they bring their people up from the hood and stuff like that. That's why I really do respect the not the comedians, but the musicians and how they bring each other up. You know, even though sometimes I don't agree with the message that they're sending out with their music, I do respect that they do hang out with the same people that and bring them up as well. But yeah, I mean, if you got all this money, why don't you just help people out? And I understand the generation wealth. You know, you save all the money for your kids and your grandkids and stuff like that, because that's how other people do it. That's why when we say about if you're a billionaire, why you want more money? Well, it's not for them. It's for their kids, their grandkids. That's why we hear, I guess, Rockefeller is one of the big names, and the Kennedys and stuff like that. It's because they had all that money and they're sharing it with their family. But us, as I'm just giving it for a black. I don't know if all black people are like that. Most black people are like, hey man, this is my money. You know, the kids, let them make their own money and stuff like that. And we don't do the generational wealth that we need to do. So
yeah. No, it's a good thing. KJ has a question for us real quick. Justin, unless Matty asked, did you have something you want to say on that, or?
No, I agree, man. You know, like in different pieces, but yeah, you know, everybody got their own. It's nobody's responsibility, though, I would say, to bring anybody up. If they choose to, they choose to. We just don't really know. Sometimes some people doing stuff behind the scenes that we don't even know about. So I choose not to, judge people, because I don't really know, the inners and outers of what's going on behind the scenes, because I'm not in their world, not in there. So I choose not to really judge other people that I don't know personally.
All right.
With the
KJ wants to know: Do celebrities have to help people publicly?
No.
And my answer is no. Nah. I mean, I know what he's saying. He said, "Word on the street, Denzel Washington has helped several people without any of us knowing who he helped, unless they say it." Yes, and I've definitely heard those stories before, and I respect Denzel Washington. You know, they say that he was the person that he paid for Chadwick Boseman's college, and I've heard that. I've known he's done stuff for, even here in the DC area. He built a bunch of houses for veterans. Even here in the DC area. So you definitely hear that. I hear a bunch of stuff, even with Dave Chappelle and things like that in this area as well. Things that he's done.
Hey, that's what my man Jigger say. That's when it really count the most, when you give anonymously. Like, you know what I mean? You're not looking for a pat on the back. Like, if you really doing it because that's what your heart telling you to do, nobody don't need to know.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't. Celebrities, they don't need to know what they like I said. We don't never talk about Denzel or anybody other celebrities. Like, why don't you give back to the community and stuff like that?
Now, people do.
If they're talking about the Will Smith thing that I said that Will Smith is talking about all this money and all this fame is keeping them down and making them not happy. I'm like, why don't you give some to other people then? Make less money and maybe you'll be happier that way. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to. I don't care if they're helping us or not, but I do respect the people that see other people struggling and they're like, okay, come on, I'll help you out. And so even the little things, even if you see a homeless person and you want to go give them a buy them dinner or something like that, or give them lunch.
That's what I'm saying. I get it, but they may be doing it, but you wouldn't know if Will Smith did it or not because he ain't said it. You know what I'm saying? He could be doing it, but we wouldn't know because he ain't mentioned it. You know what I mean? So we
you're trying to say Will Smith, how he is right now, wouldn't be like, hey man, I helped out by doing this and doing that in his I'm sorry tour or something like that, and not say anything about that.
I can't say. Like I said, I don't know.
The thing about it is all we would do is criticize him for doing it.
If he did say, you know what I'm saying? But I can't say if he did or didn't. You know what I mean? Or throughout the years of all his years of fame and celebrity and making money, what he's given back towards that we don't know about. You know what I mean? Like I've never even Googled to even find out to say what he's given towards or haven't given towards. You know what I'm saying? So I can't make that statement. You know what I'm saying about that man because I don't know. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people get on Michael Jordan, but some people say Michael Jordan has given a lot of money away. He just don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But I can't speak on it because I don't know for sure. And you know what I mean? And I'm sure a lot of celebrities give a lot of money away that they may just don't talk about. And I'm sure there's a lot of celebrities who have given nothing away. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if any of us on here really know.
Right. But one thing I do know is that you don't blame that you slapped that dude. You just blame that it was your wife that the reason why you went and slapped.
You can't blame his wife.
That's all I'm saying. Don't blame him.
You can't blame his wife either, man. Like I don't know, man. Like as a man, I'm not blaming my wife for an action I take. You know what I mean? I wouldn't blame my wife.
Even and don't get me wrong, now she might have been the motivation, but I still made the decision.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She might have because I still chose to do it to protect her honor. I did it though. You know what I'm saying? I did it.
But
I chose to do it.
Don't make that excuse because it was the money. Oh, the money because I'm rich. That's the reason why I slapped. No, because he said something about your wife. That's what I want. Just admit it, man. I was just like, man, just admit that you did that, man.
No, he submitted he did it.
Because his wife.
He submitted. No, not because of his wife.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
He said he did it because he chose to. He made the decision, man.
Hey, LA, you don't like you don't like Jada, bro. You don't like Jada.
I don't like people that wants to give an excuse. The reason why I did this is because of, you hear that all the time. Well, I wasn't in a nice space, or I wasn't this, or the money made me do it. No, just say, hey. My wife, me and my wife, we were talking, and her and Chris Rock always got into it. And she just said, "Hey, if Chris Rock say something to me, you better stand up."
I agree with you until you say his wife. He just got to take responsibility.
What if she didn't say that though? What if she did not say that to him?
Okay, yeah, so that look that she gave him was just.
That's still an assumption, though. We don't know.
All right,
we don't know.
I mean, you're right. You're right. I don't know. You're absolutely right. But can't say I'm wrong, though. I'll tell you that.
Hey, I can't say you're wrong because I don't know.
but you're right.
All right. I don't know either, man. I don't know if I know he made the decision. That I do know.
Yes.
No matter what, he made the decision. We all got choices. We all make life decisions. I mean, LA, so you're gonna tell me you've never made a decision that wasn't the right one at the time, and you felt like it was when you made it?
Oh no, man! I made plenty of bad decisions. I'm still suffering for bad decisions, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not going on no world tour saying the reason why I made this bad decision is because I don't know. I wasn't. I had a headache.
He wasn't happy with himself.
My ears hurted. Huh?
How did you hear? What did you not hear? The part about him not being happy with himself. What did you? What part of that? And hold on. You know what? Matter of fact,
why wasn't he happy with himself?
Nah, LA is basically saying like, don't blame it on the money that you wasn't happy with yourself. You know what I mean?
It's that. Yeah, because I remember Will. I remember Mr. getting jiggy with it, and Mr. Born Mr. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He looked happy as hell.
Hey, but
Then
that
all of a sudden he gets married to Jada Pinkett Smith. All of a sudden, I need to smack somebody. So
he was married to her for a long time, and then some of those, like when people are performing, man, that's a persona. Like that's a persona that they putting on, man. They could be very unhappy behind the scenes, man. You know what I mean? They you know what I mean? They're actors. They you know what I mean? They putting on the performance, but man, when that camera go cut, man, we don't know what they going through.
Yeah. And your wife just sitting there on her podcast, just telling you how much she cheated and the entanglement and all that.
Yeah, that was brutal. So, but I mean,
I'm sure that didn't have anything to do with it. I'm sure it was the money. I'm sure that's what it was. That's why.
Well, hold on. You know what? In fairness, I'm gonna play the rest of the interview because he does go further into it. So, I mean, it's a 5-minute joint. I'm gonna play a little bit more.
I want to hear Coach.
What you got to say, Coach?
Got to say, man. Coach over there, he got that look. Go ahead, Coach.
I mean, I think what he said was exactly what a lot of rich people and poor people. It's all about him going through that moment in life where you have what you want and it still don't satisfy you. Like, I mean, I think that's just, it's as simple as that. I mean, and it's funny because it don't matter what level you on with that, you can have everything you want at your level and still not be satisfied. Like, so it doesn't matter if you got a lot of money. It don't matter if you were a good father. It don't matter if you are a good father, a good husband, or what's the name. And you could still not be satisfied. I don't even think the money got anything to do with his point. I think it's all about internal satisfaction. And he's just saying that, hey, even with everything I got, I'm not satisfied.
Exactly.
And that's really, I think, and the funny thing is people can say the exact opposite. Even with everything I don't got, I'm not satisfied.
And it's different.
You know what I mean? So, like, if you ain't dealing with yourself internally on where you at right now, you ain't gonna be satisfied, and you could fall off the cliff or hit rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank, period. That's just what the point is to me.
Yeah. Either you're gonna be satisfied and love yourself with a little bit of money. If you don't love yourself with a little bit of money, you're not gonna love yourself with a lot of money. That's
you sure ain't.
Basically what he's saying.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this set up real quick. I'm gonna let y'all hear because he breaks it down even more as this goes. At least that's how I remember it. Let me see.
I think cliff top is you have to find what you're actually looking for, and what you're actually looking for is you. You're looking for you. You're running around. Right. When you like a woman and you like being with a woman, it's because you like how you feel.
Right.
You like what's happening inside of you. When you have money, it's like, yeah, it's cool to buy things, but it's not the money. You like how you feel inside. Right. It's unleashing a feeling inside. And at rock bottom and at cliff top, what you have to learn how to do is generate that feeling without anything external. You have to learn how to like you so much that you like being alive so much that you bring positive energy that's not generated by stuff, right? Because stuff is coming and going.
Right.
Like people are coming and going. Everything you have and everybody you love is going to rise and fall in your life. The place that we have to find is a spiritual place where we are good with us. We trust us. I trust myself. I trust God, and I trust life that whatever happens, I'm going to make happy out of it. I don't need specific things to happen.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's what he's saying.
I can't with that outfit. I'm sorry. What the heck is this dude wearing, man?
Oh man, I don't know. He's trying to look relatable.
Maybe that's what makes him like himself.
That's it. I mean, that's good, man. If he likes himself, that's fine. As long as he ain't going around smacking people, we can agree that if he can do that, that's fine. Whatever's making him happy that he's not smacking
honestly,
people.
That real talk. If going around smacking them people make him like himself, as long as he don't smack you.
So you go
right? You know what I mean? Like,
people,
what if that's his internal satisfaction?
He need to be locked up then.
That's fine. Be smacking people.
That's his choice, though. You know what I mean?
Right, you
like,
know what I mean? So it still goes back to his satisfaction, just like it's your satisfaction, right? You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. I mean, it's all about his internal satisfaction, and that's just what it is. You know what I mean? If that's what makes him like himself, then we good.
Hey, man, that's fine.
Yeah, and it's we all go through certain seasons and moments in our life where you know what I mean, right at that moment, that's what you was doing to get yourself together, to get through a certain situation that you may have been experiencing at that time of your life. You know what I'm saying? So again, we can't. I try not to judge because we don't really know what somebody is going through, bro. If we not there with them on a day-to-day going through it, that's like if somebody judging you based on outside looking in. We getting bits and pieces of it, and they looking at you, judging on what you doing in your household, doing this, but they don't really know. You know what I'm saying? The full picture and full story, or like what you went through as a child that shapes you into who you are, bro. So you know what I mean? Like, what I'm saying, we talking about certain things, so we got to have an opinion. Everybody got an opinion, but you know what I mean? Sometimes I try to lean on the side of I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I can't say I probably wouldn't do the same thing, but I don't know because I'm not in those shoes. If I would probably do it like this, but at the same time, I try not to, you know what I mean, be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man, you wrong. Like, bro, I don't know. So then do what you think is right for what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? At that time and moment, you handle your business. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna judge you as long as you ain't, you know what I mean, harming no women, kids, or nothing, or stepping on my toes, I'm not about to judge you, bro. Like that's me. You know, I try to be neutral in situations, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And that's why I can talk to anybody about any situation. I ain't trying to be your judge and executioner. Like, nah, bro, you shouldn't have did this, you shouldn't have did that. Like, man, I give you my opinion, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't about to say you right or wrong.
Hold on. So we all can agree he shouldn't have went up there and slapped Chris Rock, though, right? No? Or y'all still want to hold that as to that was his day, that was okay, or what?
I didn't hate him for it. Like, I wasn't like, I ain't watching his movies no more. You know what I'm saying? It was like kind of like, dang, you know what I'm saying?
As
like,
a comedian aspect, no, it was good comedy that he smacked him. No, it helped the comedians out a whole lot. Yeah, so I mean, on a comedian personally, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm a comedian, so yeah, him smacking him helped out with material. So yeah, we wanted him to smack Chris Rock on a comedy point of view. But I'm just saying, man, let's talk about the real reason. He's not going to get through that unless he talk about the real reason why he smacked Chris Rock. That's
exactly.
They it was him. He's talked about it. He said it was him.
They said I think it was some bad. Wasn't there some bad blood there before? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you never know. They could have had a conversation. You could have told that by, man, you say my wife's name out your mouth again, I'm smacking you, Slim. You know what I'm saying? They could have had that conversation behind closed doors. And then Chris Rock shot his shot. Oh, he ain't gonna smack me at the Oscars. I'm about to talk some shit about you tonight. And then that nigga pulled his car. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know.
I would believe that, but when Jada gave him that look, that all bets.
You can't blame it on Jada, bro. I get it. I don't agree with Jada getting on these talk shows and all that. I will agree with that. But at the end of the day, bro, he's still with her. He ain't leave her. So you know, man, I got you. So I can't judge a dude because if that's still his wife and he's still rocking with her, I can't.
Oh yeah,
you throw your hands up, bro. That's what he you know what I mean. So I can't blame him because he has the choice. He could, you know what I mean? He got the choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
And that's what it comes back to ultimately is that we all have choices. That we all have choices. And no matter what, like I said, it's always a moment in anything that you do where you make a decision. You know what I'm saying? There's never a time where anything is done without you making that decision, because you always have that choice. Just like he had that choice to go up there and slap him. He could have had that choice to just handle it with his wife in conversation later. You know what I'm saying? Or just let that moment not get too big that it overshadow what he was really there for. And I mean, we've all made choices. We've all made choices that, you know, weren't the best choice, you know what I'm saying, at that time. But the biggest thing that, you know, I want to talk about is, of course, choices and your decision. You know, I was curious to whether or not you feel that there is a such thing as getting that cliff when you get all the way to the top, or is it just rock bottom? And yeah, and I mean, let's take Will Smith out of it and just understand, you know, I wanted to say that I do believe that I do believe that there is, if you are not doing your purpose, if you're not doing what you're really here to do in love and find that happiness in yourself, it don't matter. Nothing else matters. Everything else is just a tool. Everything else is just there. But until you find that thing that makes you eternally happy, then you're just going to keep on searching for everything else under the sun. So, you know, my question to y'all now, going back to the topic, is why do you think change is different? Going back into change, and why do you think, we already kind of talked about why you think change is difficult, or why you think people are afraid of change. You know, when it comes to change, what do y'all feel is the most difficult part? Or give me an instance that you've changed, and how did you feel after you've made that change? So I'll start off first, so I can give you so you know what you're talking about. I've talked about this on this show. I've given up alcohol. Now, don't get me wrong. If I go out with my friends or whatever, I might have a beer. You know, if I went a couple of weeks, I went and played poker. It was my boy's birthday. You know, I had a shot with him. You know what I'm saying? But I used to be a person that drunk pretty much every day. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I got home from work, I have a drink, or as soon as anything happened, if I was celebrating something, I'd drink. If I was sad, I'd drink. You know what I'm saying? If I if I had a good day at work, I drunk. If I had a bad day at work, I drunk. So to get the purpose of it, you know, drinking was like my vice. It was the thing that I turned to no matter what, you know. And now I've given up alcohol. To that point, I haven't bought any liquor in my house in, I don't know, months or so and so. So that change, even though it was something that I did, it still had its difficult points. It still had its part where it was difficult for me to change. But now that I really feel that I'm well past it, you know, I feel better. I feel better about myself. I feel better about my decisions. I feel better about the things that, you know, when I go into, like when I come home from work, if I'm happy, I'm not looking to supply with alcohol, or if I'm sad, I'm not looking to supply with alcohol. Now, I am going to say that I do use God more as my reference for when I'm going through those moments. Like when things are going wrong or things are not going sad, what used to be I would go to the bottle is now I go to God. You know what I'm saying? And that has been a healthy replacement for me, you know. And so now, have you guys ever been through a change or done a change that you came out the end feeling better about it? And what was the difficulty during that time when you were making that change? Well, go with Coach. I'll let Coach go first. Well, second, actually.
Oh, my man, I think one of the most difficult things that I had to change, and I speak to my marriage, is that I would protect my wife from situations, and it would create a lack of trust, because the way she took things was I wasn't being completely honest. But in my eyes, it was, I'm protecting you from a situation. And it took me a long time to kind of realize that I was hurting her in a sense, that my protection of her from, whether it was a financial, especially when it came to finances, a financial situation, my protection of her was seen as dishonesty, not protection. Right. But my internal issue is that I always wanted to be looked at as the provider and the solution, the guy that had the solution for the situation, whereas she wanted it to be us to have the solution. The situation didn't even matter. And it took me a long time to kind of figure out how to navigate that situation and change it. So much so that it was difficult conversations that weren't really difficult. They were only difficult for me. They weren't difficult for her. And as I slowly started yielding to the honesty about the financial situation, that's when the growth in the marriage happened. So that's what happened with us.
Okay. Yeah. All right. What about you, Matty Ice?
Yeah, it changed for me, came in a lot of different ways. You know what I mean? Just with family and different things like that. Because sometimes I would say just certain situations, sometimes you think that you're I'm not being supportive or being understanding to what other people are thinking, but you're still kind of putting what you want them to do on it, instead of just kind of listening and being just a listening ear and supportive at the time. So I had to learn, like, now's not the time to teach. You know what I mean? It's just more of time to listen to what they're trying to tell you and be supportive. There's maybe another time for teaching. So I've learned that, you know what I mean, and had to change my ways with that. So that was kind of a big thing, because I always be like, well, you should have, trying to teach at the same time, but they're not trying to hear that right at the moment. They just want you to kind of listen and be supportive at the time, and you can bring up the teaching aspect of it later. And just other things, man, like just recently, just being more open to ideas. Like, I've always been a spiritual person, you know what I mean, but just going to church more with my wife lately, just being more open to the faith and different things like that, and see how that definitely can help you, and how it actually lifts other people up, you know what I mean? Because I always was like, well, what you need, like an outside source, you know what I mean? God is within us, you know what I mean? But just getting a better understanding of how God and religion, you know what I mean, supports people and give them faith and hope, you know what I mean, kind of changed my viewpoint and on a lot of things, and has helped me, you know what I mean, in different situations over the last few months, and just being a little more open, man, because I've always, like, kind of what Coach was saying, like, I you know what I mean, I sometimes I put on a persona, like, I want to be, I'm always able to handle everything. You know what I mean? But I had some challenges over the last few months, like some changes, like everything just wasn't going perfect with the business. But just sometimes I wouldn't, be open with my wife about those things, because I didn't want her to have to worry about it. But sometimes, just talking to her about those things, it made me feel better. And then she, had ideas and different things, and we were able to come to solutions. But if I didn't even have that conversation with her, because normally I wouldn't, it'd just be like, hey, I'll figure it out, you know what I'm saying? But it was like, once I felt better, like, talking about finances and stuff, because I just handle different things, I wouldn't even talk to her about finances and different things like that. But I started opening up more about that with her, and it actually felt good. You know what I'm saying? And it was for the better. So that was a change on my part. And change is always good. Sometimes you got to look at yourself and ask yourself, why do I feel like this, and why am I doing that? And you know what I mean? And it's growth. You know what I mean? I believe change is growth. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So if you're not changing, you're not growing, because we can't be the same person like that you were at 25 that you are 30. I'm not the same person at 30 that I am now at 40, and I'm going into my 45th year, and I'm not the same person then. You know what I mean? And I think it's for the better. You know what I mean? It's definitely for the better. I'm more seasoned. You know what I mean? So I've learned. So if you're not changing, that means you wasn't learning, because you definitely had to have some lessons throughout the years. So if you're not changing, you're not learning.
100%. It's KJ said that's good, knowing the proper time of not teaching. I'm learning the same thing as well. So that's good. LA Josh Preston, how about you, sir? You got a time that you change?
Oh yeah, I needed to change my communication, because with Beast, you already know the situation about the nail salon. I gotta communicate more with my wife. Even though we've been together 27 years, I figure I got that mentality like she's thinking what I'm thinking, but no, it's not that all the time. So I definitely gotta communicate more, because with my communication is that, like, my wife, she wants to know where I am, not at all time. Not because she's. She just wants to know, like, I know he's here, so in case I need him, I know how to get in touch with him and stuff like that. I'm the opposite. I don't. If my wife wants to go somewhere, that's fine. If I really do, if I ever need her, I'll find ways to get in contact with her. But we're the complete opposite. So now I'm thinking that she's like that, but I got to communicate. Like, I'm going to the store. I'm going here. I'm doing my comedy. I'm doing a comedy at this place. I'm doing comedy at that place. I got to tell her that, even though I don't care if she just leaves. And I got to realize that I got to just talk to her more, even with the kids and stuff. I can't sit here and tell my daughter, hey, I need you to clean up your room. And then next day, you haven't cleaned up your room. She's like, well, you didn't tell me I had a time frame. You just told me to clean my room. It's like, I'll clean my room. Now I know I got to communicate with my daughter saying, hey, you need to clean your room by 6 o'clock today. Then she knows, okay, I need to clean up my room by 6 o'clock today. And then the same thing, I tell my wife, oh, we're going out to eat. I got to tell, we're going out to eat at 8 p.m. Please be ready by at least 7:30, 7:45, because women take a freaking long time. Can you please be ready? Yeah, so I got to be more.
I got to tell my wife 6 if I want to be ready.
Yeah, really, shoot. I just got to be more. I know now I need to be more specific with my communication. I can't just be a blatant, because it can mean anything. So
yeah,
I'm trying to communicate.
Read your mind.
Yeah, I got to be a better communicator, and
that works in all forms of, even in your family and business, because sometimes we just assume that people think they understand what we're saying,
right?
Or sometimes we assume people got common sense.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It could be, you can take it there, but you know what I mean. Sometimes some people just no, you don't leave it up for interpretation. If you want, especially if it's something that you need done, you know what I mean? Just be more specific.
Yep. And not only that, with me, even when I get upset, I don't know if it's like a man thing. If I'm upset with someone, whether it be my kids or my wife, I keep quiet. I don't say, hey, I'm upset that this happened. I just stay quiet. And once I stay quiet for a couple of days, my wife knows, okay, something's wrong. What is wrong? And
that ain't a bad thing. But go ahead, I'm listening. But go ahead.
But I gotta communicate. It's not one of those what's wrong. It seems I feel like my wife should know something's wrong with me, because how I am. But it seems like you gotta tell it. Hey, I'm upset about this. I'm upset about that. Because if not, it can go on for days without any communication. And that's another thing. Me, I gotta say, hey, if I'm upset about something, I need to be up for it with it right then and there, so we can get this thing settled instead of waiting 2 or 3 days. We're all upset with each other and stuff. And what's crazy about it, sometimes we get upset with each other after a few. I forget why I'm upset.
Why are you upset? I knew that was coming. 100%.
Don't even know why. So I always say, if you're upset with someone, nip it in the bud right then and there. Don't let it linger.
So you're not supposed to go to sleep upset, man.
What's that?
Not supposed to go to sleep upset.
Yeah, well, I'm learning.
27 years, you still learning that job?
I'm learning, man.
Oh, nah, I'm the complete opposite. I let them know, everybody, if I'm upset, the whole house know I'm upset. It ain't just my wife. Everybody know I'm upset. But but I'm doing better in that too. I think communication between your wife is definitely still something that you have to learn. And it changes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it changes. Like I said before, I believe, and I tell my wife all the time that, I'll be like, hey, we need to start redating each other because I don't feel we're the same anymore. And you have to redate. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like why people have these 10-year anniversary things and stuff like that, where they renew their vows or things like that. Because a lot of times you're married to a different person. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not a lot of times, every time. If you go through time together, you're going to evolve. You're going to change. You're going to be different. And sometimes even in my differences, I've learned that I have to express them. You know what I'm saying? I have to express to my wife that this is no longer it for me anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, at one point in time, I used to play video games 24/7. You know what I'm saying? That's not it. Now I barely play. I'll play with my kids or whatever the case may be, but I used to spend all night playing video games. And that used to be my time to myself. Now it's not important to me at all. You know what I'm saying? Now it's the podcast and hanging out with, y'all guys, all the other comedians, and even here on this podcast. That's what helps me. I feel refreshed after doing this. I feel my mindset is a lot better and clearer in my thinking and everything like that. So, communication is definitely something that we all need to continue working at. But I'm about to go ahead and end things out. Coach, you got anything to say last minute?
Nah, man, I think I hit it on the head with the communication. It was the same thing that I was mentioning. It's the exact same thing. Right. Yep, I think we're doing. I think this is a good show for sure. Just talking about self-awareness and what can satisfy you. So, and communication and change. You know what I mean? Excuse me. All that plays a vital role in self-satisfying. It's amazing that when you change, it's something internally that makes you feel better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've done this thing now with my wife in communication. Like, when I'm upset, I say to her, look, I just need to voice this. You know what I'm saying? I need to express this to you. And whether or not, but the one thing I've learned about that is that when I voice it to her, I had to learn to not expect a response. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't expect them to immediately respond to whatever you just said or whatever your issue is. And then the other thing is that we have to realize as people is that your issue is exactly that. It is your issue. You can't make your issue somebody else's issue. You know what I'm saying? If you're upset about the fact that something happened or whatever the case may be, even though you voice it on that person, you can't be like, all right, I said it, now you need to apologize. Now you need to do this. Now you need to do that. You can't do that. Nah, you expressed how you feel. Now it's up to them. If they want to apologize or don't apologize, it shouldn't matter to you because it's something that you have to work through. You know what I'm saying? And you have to get it right within yourself. So, that's just something that I've learned during my time. So I express how I feel and I move on. Because, and then a lot of times my wife does come back to me and we'll talk about it more. She wants more clarity or whatever the case may be. And sometimes she don't want no more clarity. Sometimes she understands or whatever, or she doesn't understand, and we just keep it moving. The thing about it is you don't always have to agree to you can agree to disagree. And sometimes in my marriage, sometimes we have to do that. We have to agree to disagree on that topic or that subject and move on though. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not always going to see it the way she sees it, and she's not always going to see it the way I see it.
Right.
So But hey, fellas, we're gonna go ahead and get ready in the show. I do want to throw a quick couple things out there. One, we are going to do the season premiere, the watch party, April 22nd of the Knox for season 2. If y'all haven't checked it out, please go check it out on YouTube. It's The Knox, DAKNOX. It's our boy and one of my favorite people that watch the show, my man, art by Guapo. You can check that there. And he also is the person that did our intro, which is always going to be fire to me. The music and the animation was done by him. So April 22nd, you check us out. That'll be on a Tuesday, 8 o'clock. We'll come on live at about 7:30 and have a good time. There we go right there. Go ahead and put that. He's watching, my man Art by Guapo. Make sure y'all check that out. And LA Josh Preston, please tell us if anybody want to see you, see your comedy, what you got going on, and where to follow your podcast, sir.
All right. Well, I'm LA Josh Preston, a comedian out of Roanoke, Virginia. Tomorrow I will be in Augusta, Georgia at the Fox's Lair performing. Thursday is my podcast, what I do every Thursday night at 7 p.m. And on the 19th, I'll be at the Coffee Pot in Roanoke, Virginia. And I'm very, very excited that on May 4th through the 8th, I will be doing my first ever international comedy show up in Canada, Toronto, from May 4th through the 8th for the Great Canadian Comedy Festival.
Oh, okay, I see you, Josh. Hey, make sure you put some clips and stuff on that so people can watch you on Facebook. What about Facebook, Instagram? Where they need to go to follow you?
Facebook is LA Josh Preston or LA Preston, and also The Real Funny on Facebook. And you can also on Instagram is LA Josh Preston, as well as TikTok and YouTube.
All right. Make sure y'all give him a follow, like, and share, because he's very much a stickler about that. So you got to go in there and follow, like, and share. And check him out on Thursday on his podcast. And, man, anybody have anything they want to say before we go? Coach? No? All right. We're out of here. We're out of here.
But I also would like to say, I would like to thank you for having me on Dad's Mentality. Like I said, I wish I could be on here every Monday, but I have improv practice. But for you doing it on a Sunday, I was very quick to come on here because I enjoy your Dad's Mentality podcast, and I enjoy listening to Matty Ice and Coach. And I like to thank y'all for being on the show as well with me. I had a very fun time. Thank you.
Hey,
I'm
same
glad,
here,
I'm
man.
glad,
Appreciate
brother.
you.
Appreciate it,
man. Hopefully we can do it again.
Please.
Yeah, we'll definitely get you.
I'll definitely be there Tuesday for the Knox season. I'll put that
Okay.
on the calendar to make sure I didn't have any shows or do anything.
Oh, my man. All right. We'll be there. We'll watch it. Have a good time. And y'all know, thank y'all for watching Dad Mentality. God bless. Good night.
God bless you too. God bless all of you.
I appreciate it.